What's up, guys? Back at it with another great video today. Sorry for my little hiatus. I've had recently I've had surgery on my nose for my deviated septum, so I had to get that fixed. Thankfully, there was no basketball games throughout, but the NBA Finals are here. I don't have a video about Game 7. Not really much to say about it. Congrats to the Spurs, man. Y'all be moving on to the Knicks, but today we're on the finals, man. Go move on past that. Just straight into it. Today I want to really go over the Knicks Pros, and Cons, as well as the Spurs Pros and Cons, and I would like to get to the X-Factors for the Knicks and the Spurs. Game predictions of who I think is gonna win, and how many games it will take for said winner to win. So, that being said, let's start it off hot with the Knicks Pros. So, first thing I have for the Knicks Pros is their elite level shooting. The Knicks were historically great this playoffs, the entire playoffs. Ever since after they lost that second game to the Hawks, they've been undefeated and they have been shooting lights out. There are 6 players on the Knicks who are shooting more than 4 threes a game at a 45 or higher clip percentage wise. That is quite literally the greatest offensive streak any playoff team has ever had. The Knicks statistically had the highest plus minus rating or offensive rating ever in the playoffs. They are playing statistically as the greatest offensive basketball team we've ever seen. So if they could keep that up, I don't see who would have beat them. Fully healthy Thunder wouldn't be able to beat. If they have 6 people shooting over 45% from 3, it's like impossible to beat them. That goes into now you can't double Jalen Brunson. Now you have to worry about everybody else. And you're leaving Jalen Brunson by himself, he'll be guarded by Castle, but still that's something you got to worry about. Next thing go to, I love that they have so many physical guys that can stand up on Wemby. So people like OG is going to be on Wemby. Josh Hart's going to be on Wemby. Robinson is questionable for game 1, but if he is able to play this series, Robinson is more likely going to see some minutes on him, and especially Cat. I think Cat is the least likely of the 3 to be on him. I imagine that they're going to try to put Cat on either Champagny, or they may try to put him on a guard so he gets an easier matchup. I think the Spurs are going to try to put Wemby on Hart, and that will open up a lot of open threes for him, which he will have to knock down. Another pro. I love the Knicks bench. Landry Shamet hasn't missed a 3 ever in history. Not a true fact, but damn it feels like he hasn't missed ever. Great asset from the team. You have McBride coming in. Sometimes he'll hit 2 or 3 threes. Sometimes he'll be terrible. It is what it is. You have Jose Alvarado giving you that hustle. He's the smallest guy you ever see in the world, but he's big when he gets some steals. He's big when he's aggressive. Big when he's passing the ball. So that's massive for them. And one more thing, 2 more things with the pros. Another pro is everyone in the starting 5 can shoot threes, which wasn't what was the case with the Thunder. The Thunder were very injured. Their starting 5 wasn't too consistent with offense. It was easy to double share. A 3-point shooter who was not used to that would be able to shoot threes, which they were capable of doing. However, with a team that's shooting this historically well, and at all times, the Knicks are going to have people that can shoot. They're starting 5. Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Cat, and J Hart. J Hart's a little iffy, but even if he hits 2 threes a game, that's massive. That's going to pull Wemby. Wemby's going to have to go out there and guard him, and that's the paint, wide open. So, Knicks definitely have a gateway to success used with those tactics right there, in my opinion. And then Mr. Clutch, Jalen Brunson being on their team is massive. If it's ever a close game, depending on what the lineups are looking like in the situation, I'll always back the Knicks in this situation, as the Knicks just have former Clutch Player of the Year. Showed it here. He walked down James Harden. Granted, Spurs ain't got nobody that's bad as defense as James Harden is. But still, bro, the capability of doing that with the crowd behind you is massive. So I love Jalen Brunson in this spot to show levels. Now I want to go into the Spurs Pros. The Spurs Pros, they are without a doubt, the best defense that the Knicks have seen this entire playoffs. Not a knock to the Knicks. You only play who's in front of you. But this is leagues higher than anybody they've ever played at the Cavs, especially at the Cavs. From playing the 76ers to playing the Hawks to now playing the Cavs and embarrassing every single one of those teams, barring the Hawks. But those were, it just started also. I think that this will be a great reality check to see if this offense is really real. This is an elite defense. Everybody can guard up. So we'll see how they look on that front. Spurs Pros, Wemby. Enough said. He is the best player in this series. He is arguably the best player in the world. He is arguably going to have free food down there unless Cat decides to get big or unless they decide to punk him out the paint. But we'll see how that looks. The Spurs also switchability with their defenders. It feels like everybody on that team, they guard up on anybody. Anybody could get on somebody, especially with Castle, with Harper, with Keldon Johnson, with everybody except for like De'Aaron Fox. They need De'Aaron Fox. He could swipe the ball. Swiper could at least get a steal, so that's great for them. And the last Spurs Pro, in my opinion, is the offensive glass. Them being able to have Wemby is already a massive help on the offensive side of glass wires. For that offensive rebounding, Spurs have people that can jump out the gym, bro. Every single one of their guards are super athletic, barring De'Aaron Fox. But Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, man, Keldon Johnson was bigging up on Chet Holmgren. It's just, man, they have so much help on the offensive glass. Not to mention Luke Cornett. He's not no joke, man. He's a very good center. Well, good backup center. Good center. Anyway, that's enough for that. Let's go on to the Knicks Cons. What I think the Knicks will have to struggle with or have a problem with. I still question how real that historical offense is. Yes, all of their players did that for the entire playoffs. You didn't play an elite defense. And for what it's worth, I just can't. I personally cannot believe that the Knicks, with the roster that they have currently, is a historical team. Nothing about their players screams to be generational. I don't think maybe Cat scoring wise is a generational center, but other than that, I don't really. Josh Hart's not a generational player. OG isn't. Jalen Brunson isn't. Andrew Shamet damn sure isn't. Mikal Bridges is Ennis, and they're just making every shot, man. And I think a lot of that goes to the teams that they're playing's defense is so bad though. Like there are several possessions mid-game, not even like the incident after the game. The Cavs are just watching them shoot threes, like doubling and not covering their man, not switching. They're just letting them shoot threes and they're wide open. I just highly doubt the Spurs are going to allow that to happen. So we'll see if that offense is real. Knicks Cons is Jalen Brunson's defense. Jalen Brunson is going to play 40 minutes a game this series, barring blowouts, obviously. Those minutes could really be a detriment to them as he's easy to pick on. And if they go for a switch, Cat is easier to pick on. Just kidding, he's not easy to pick on to Brunson. But those two defensively are not really solid. We all know that. But the Knicks haven't been able to hide that for the entire playoffs. I'm just worried that against the Spurs, again, this is the best thing they're going to have to play, that may not be easier to hide against 5 elite players, especially ones that can get to the rack. Not so much shooters, but they can punch it. Another con. As of right now, Mitchell Robinson is questionable to play this game. And injuries. If Mitchell Robinson does not play, that is very bad for them. I feel like the Mitchell Robinson minutes will be one of the best minutes of this game for the Knicks. Because that is 15 to 20 minutes. Maybe even less depending on what's happening. But he's on the court. He's on Cornette or Wemby. I think we're going to see throughout this series several times where he is just pushing Wemby out of the way, being physical, bro. Because he's just a big motherfucker. He's massive, bro. I think he's like 7 foot 300. He's not 300 pounds. He's like 270 pounds. He's a massive dude. So that's one thing that I'm really looking forward to. Cat loves to get into foul trouble. Man, Cat with the fouls, the small fouls. If you're going to foul on the defensive side, whatever. You got 6 of them. But if you're getting offensive fouls as well, Cat, it's just stupid. It's idiotic. We call him the tickle monster for a reason. He needs to calm down and realize the bigger situation here. You know, we need you on the court at all times, bro. You're too good of a player. So that's it for the Knicks Cons. Now let's get to the Spurs Cons. I love this flow of the video, by the way. I'm doing way better. Probably because I'm in pain. I want to get this video over with. Spurs love to double elite guards. That isn't going to work on the Knicks. They are shooting historically for the three. Again, nothing I haven't said already. The Knicks are lights out for three this year. And this is another thing I'll say. If the Spurs ideology is, which I don't think they do, I think the Spurs will allow Castle to go one-on-one with Brunson. But if they don't, if they are okay with doubling Brunson, I think they will have to pay, because that is leaving 40+% three-point shooters wide open. And if they continue to shoot like that, you're going to get out this series in 5 or 6, which I really hope happens. So if that if I'm really them, I would try it out for one game. I'd be like, okay, let's see how real the shooting is. If it gets out of hand in the first half and they're just not missing a three, okay, Castle, you've done fantastic jobs on the MVP last series. We'll trust you to handle Jalen Brunson this time. Very different player, but still, you handle the MVP, you can handle Brunson in theory. So we're gonna allow to do that, right? Another con I have, they're still young. I know that we don't like to do that anymore, say that anymore, because the Thunder just won a ring last year. The Spurs have 4 games left until they could win a ring, and they're younger than them. But even in the last series, you just saw, man, in crunch time, not in crunch time, when they are behind, they seek these glory shots. Wemby will take a 40-foot three when they're behind. It's like they're down by 8, and Wemby's chucking up a half-court heave. Castle's pulling up from deep after dribbling for 2. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. He's just shooting it. Vassell is trying to shoot over anybody and everybody. Foolishness. They don't like to chip at leads, really. So that's one thing the Knicks can't take advantage of, because if they get desperate like that, the Knicks will punish you. Even if they aren't shooting lights up for 3. The Knicks has so much offense that it really doesn't matter. So that's one thing. Another con for the Spurs there. Another con. Castle loves to foul, and Jalen Brunson loves to flop. If Jalen Brunson is smart, he will try to get Castle in action every time. Castle's going to hand check him every single time. He does that on everybody. I'm not going to talk about it for that long. He fouls every time. Every time he defends somebody. Every time you can picture every time he is on somebody. Push, grab, pull. That's what he does. That's how he plays defense. That's how you play defense when you're in the NBA. It is what it is. So he'll be in foul trouble. Take advantage of that. He's their best perimeter defender, probably. Actually, yes, he is. I don't know why I said that. He is their best perimeter defender, so that is something to watch out for, in my opinion. So, another con. This is more of a situational con, though, because if Wemby doesn't play as many minutes, he won't be tired. But Wemby last series had to play a lot of minutes because those games were very competitive, barring like 1 or 2. And in those heavy minute games, he is gassed. And even Jeremy Sohan said it, because he was a teammate in Wemby. He said, yeah, man, if Wemby has to play 35 to 40 minutes, he's going to take possessions off. And if that happens in this game, Knicks, treat that as if he's not on the court. Y'all have to punch that. If Wemby gets tired, that's your golden ticket. That's your go. You need a heavy get on that. That's my opinion, though. Now I want to get into the biggest X factor for the Knicks. I have 2 of them for both teams. You have to win the non-Wemby minutes. Again, we're looking at you, Big Purr. You, Big Purr. We need you to win those minutes. When Luke Cornett is on that court, if you were in that game, it should be ISO. It should be, hey, Jalen Brunson, sit your little light-skinned ass down. I need to dominate, because Luke Cornett is not fast, is not mobile. That little chase down block he got, Isaiah Hartenstein is a younger Luke Cornett. That don't really count. But he is not fast. He's not mobile. He's not going to be able to stay with you, Cat. Cat, you could shoot over him. You could dribble past him. You could dunk on him. Cat, if you take advantage of those minutes, especially with how elite of an offense that the Knicks have, oh my goodness. It shouldn't be a second that that roster with Luke Cornett out there looks good. Y'all should have to make Wemby play a lot of minutes. Cornett should be playable in this series. He shouldn't be. Y'all have too much offense, and y'all could easily play him out the game. Simple. Also, the second biggest X factor is Josh Hart, in my opinion. He's the player who is the most important. Most importantly about Josh Hart, in this series specifically, that three-point shot needs to land. Wemby is going to be on him. I would bet my life on it. And just so Wemby can roam and watch out. Wemby he's like a dog with a bone. You throw a bone, in this case, you shoot a ball or you try to lay the ball about a net, he is hawking that down. he is going to try to block that and send it to the fifth row. So what they need to do is they need to, hey, Hart, you need to be in that gym. 100 threes a game, 100 threes a night, bro. Lights out. We need you to shoot that ball beautifully. So Wemby has to guard you, which will lead up to more opportunities for your other teammates, because now they feel the need to have to stay in that corner because Josh Hart's in that corner. He's banging threes, which means when the paint's open, more 3-point opportunities are open. It just helps out everybody if Josh Hart can hit his threes. So that is a massive part of the X Factor for the Knicks. I think that's the biggest X Factor. I think Josh Hart, without a doubt, can win or lose in this series. Now, I want to get into the biggest X Factors for the Spurs. De'Aaron Fox needs to show up. He is their veteran. I know they're a great team and all. This is still a very, very young team. They need a leader presence, at least a good leader presence. And an elite player like De'Aaron Fox showing up every game would mean the world to them. You saw last game, man. If De'Aaron Fox had a bad game, even with Chet being, good Lord, I could write a book with how bad he was. My goodness, I'm still fuming about it, bro. But yes, as bad as he was, that game was still close to the very end because De'Aaron Fox timely scores. Thunderbird go on a run. De'Aaron Fox fadeaway midi, 3-point shot, tough pass for an assist, 3-pointer by Shampity. Simple stuff like that could make the Spurs deadly, man. So if your veterans playing that well, you already know what you're gonna get for everybody else. But De'Aaron Fox is ironically a shaky one, so we'll see. And next I want to get into Shampity needs to hit his threes. Julian Shampity, last game 7, shot 6 of 8 from 3. Wet like water, boy. Couldn't miss if you paid him to. Now, granted, I don't think he hit 6 threes in the entire series, but in that game 7, he showed up. You were going to need to show up for the Spurs. If he is having a bad series, I honestly fail to believe that the Knicks will not capitalize on that. The Knicks have showed us this playoffs, they're going to hit their shots. And Shampity is their best 3-point shooter. And if he's not hitting, who is? A couple deep bombs from Wemby every few games is cool, but if he's shooting 2 threes a game, that's not really doing much for you. So we'll see, man. Can Shampity show up? I think he won't. But, I'm not a Spurs fan, so I'm not as optimistic for him, but I don't know. These players show us who they are this entire playoffs. I don't think they'll flip a switch. But anyway, I say all of that to say, I have the Spurs winning in 6. Now, I do not want that to happen. I would love for the Knicks to win. I think that'd be great for the city. I don't live there. I live in Georgia. I'm years away from them niggas, so I ain't finna have no repercussions for being near them if they win a ring. So I ain't got to worry about that. Plus, I don't have any Knicks fans I don't know personally, so I ain't got nobody in my ear. And I just hate the fucking Spurs, man. I can't stand the Spurs, if I'm being honest with you. I don't like any of their players. I think they're all... I would love for it to be Knicks in 6. I think going over all this and being more optimistic, the Knicks can win this series. I don't think it's going to be a 4 or 5. This should be a classic 6 to either team. I don't see it going 7. I don't see any of the... this feels like the most... This is going to end in 6. And I feel like the major reasons for that is either 2 things for both. Spurs, Wemby is just that damn good, and you just can't stop him no matter who is on him. Or for the Knicks, this offense is genuinely the greatest offense we've ever seen in the playoffs. And I think those 2 will be the ultimate factors. Wemby or this historical offense. Both have proven us this entire playoffs that they're real. Now it's time to see what they are in the finals. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you have a blessed night, a blessed day, a blessed evening whenever you're watching this video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment for the algorithm. And I'll be uploading way more now that I'm healthy. Shout out to you guys for watching this video. Much love. Shout out to the 2 new subscribers. Love you guys. I'm not saying 3 because the first one was my other account. Peace.